Good morning, my dear students. Let us continue our chapter called Moving Charges and Magnetism. Now, the name of the topic is Force on a current carrying conductor in an uniform magnetic field. Force on a current carrying conductor which is kept in a uniform magnetic field. We had already discussed force on a moving charge in a magnetic field, which is QVB sine theta. If you want in vector form, so Fm bar is equal to Q into V bar cross B bar. I hope you could recollect this equation. This V bar cross B bar will gives you the direction of this force. V bar cross B bar, you know how to do the cross product or vector product. V bar cross B bar will gives the direction of magnetic force in this case, right? This is a single charge. Now, the force on a current carrying conductor in a uniform magnetic field, and so much of relation will be there between this and that topic. And let's start. There is a uniform magnetic field is available here. You can see the uniform magnetic field is available here. There's a uniform magnetic field. Right? This is a uniform magnetic field. And you can see here there is a wire conductor which is placed here, and length of the conductor is L from here to here. It is L is the length of the conductor. So I am writing everything here. So L is length of the conductor, and area of cross section is this is A. So A is area of the conductor, and you can check area into length is the volume of it, right? So volume of this is area into length of the conductor. So in this volume, a current I is flowing. You can see here the current I. So current I. So the current flowing through the conductor. Current is what? The series of flow of charges. That's called the current here. So let us consider the charge is a positive charge, because the flow of current means the flow of positive charges, which is in the opposite direction of the flow of electrons. Those are the free electrons. I hope you remember this. Now, a current flowing conductor will have series of flow of positive charges. They will be moving with velocity. So what is that velocity called? Drift velocity. And in a conductor, the free electrons will be moving with the drift velocity. With the same velocity, the positive charges will be moving in opposite direction. Okay. So now I am writing here. So the V suffix D, which is equal to a drift velocity of the charges in a conductor. Right? Now, here one more important point. Carefully see. This is a B bar. B is the uniform magnetic field. So what is that? A uniform magnetic field. Okay. Now, on each and every, for example, here there is a charge Q. On this charge Q, definitely there is a magnetic force. This another charge Q, here also there is a magnetic force. On this charge also there is a magnetic force, right? What is that magnetic force on that particular charge? For example, this is the charge I have taken which is moving in this direction. That means its drift velocity also in the same direction. So force on a moving charge in a magnetic field, you know, F is equal to Q into V bar cross B bar. I am talking about the direction now. V bar cross B bar. Where is V bar? So this is V bar, yes or no? In the direction of motion of the particle, we need to keep our stretched fingers according to the cross product I am talking about. Okay. So we need to keep our stretched finger in the direction of V bar. Okay. Clear? And we need to curl our stretched fingers in the direction of B bar. It's so simple. This is V bar and B bar is here, right? So V bar cross B bar. Understand? So this is V bar. Towards B bar I'm just curling it. And you see the thumb is pointing. Thumb is giving you the direction of magnetic force. Okay. Again I am telling you to find the direction of force on a moving charge. What we have to do, along V bar, we need to stretch our palm. Palm in the sense, stretch our fingers of right hand. Okay, we need to stretch our fingers of right hand. So then curl towards B bar. So already you know these things. That's why I am writing in the small font. So along V bar, we need to stretch our fingers of right hand and curl towards B bar. Then your thumb will gives you the direction of magnetic force. So the same thing on this charge. So this is V bar and this is B bar. You can see V bar cross B bar. So thumb is giving me the direction of the force here. Don't think that the into symbol will only gives you the direction of magnetic field which is moving into the plane. No, you can represent it the current. In the solenoid, what we have represented. Into means the current is moving inwards, right? Into means the current is inward, force is inward, and so many physical quantities you can take it. Okay, so what is that? Maybe the magnetic field is into the plane. So now, this is what I am representing. On this charge, the force is acting into the plane. Here also, on this charge, the force is moving into the plane. Here also, on this charge, force is moving into the plane. Okay, so you know the net force acting on this current carrying wire which is placed in the uniform magnetic field is what? Definitely it is into the plane. Right? Clear? So, what I am going to tell you is the net force acting on this wire also must be into the plane. But it is a sum of all these things. Right? So, I am writing here. So, in this case, the net force acting on the conductor is into the plane. In this case only, okay, not in all the cases, only in this case, right? All right. Now we'll start doing the derivation. There is an expression for magnetic force on a current carrying conductor, like F is equal to QVB sin theta. So let's concentrate on one charge. The force on one charge. The force on one single charge in a conductor is. So what is that? F is equal to QVB sin theta. This V is drift velocity. Okay, so no confusion at all. V is drift velocity. Now here we are talking about the drift velocity and the current. Okay, see the drift velocity and the current. Immediately you should recollect the relation between drift velocity and current. See, may or may not be required, but when there is a drift velocity here and current here, I have told you during the drift velocity topic in current electricity. When there is a question based on drift velocity, 99% the question will be based on the relation between drift velocity and electric current. Okay, see what is the relation here? So I is equal to NEAV D. So this is the relation between electric current and drift velocity, where N is number of charges through the conductor, E is charge of an electron or the charge of charge, magnitude of a charge. A is area of that conductor and Vd is the drift velocity. So the same thing here, force on one single charge in a conductor is F is equal to QVB sine theta, and here if you carefully go through it, force on total number of charges in the volume AL. Okay, so now here F is equal to, here Q is a single charge. Now how many charges are there? So there are AL into N number of charges are there. So AL into N number. So in this volume, number of charges are N and each charge is Q and rest of the things Q, V, B, sine theta. I hope you understand. The number of free electrons available in this volume is N. So in this volume AL, these are called the total number of free electrons. Okay, so which is equal to, I am writing here, I can write NAL for to the force on the total number of charges in volume AL. So these are the total number of free electrons available. So NAL QVB sine theta. So here F is equal to, if you carefully see, I is equal to NEAVD. See, there is N, there is A, there is V, right? So there is E also. E is the charge of the electron here. Here we have considered that positive charge. Okay, so nothing. So there is a current is flowing in this direction. Understand? Current is flowing in this direction. Drift velocity of electrons will be in opposite direction and the positive charges will be in the another direction. Again I am telling you, the drift velocity of electron will be in this direction. Opposite to that, that means in the direction of current, there is a drift velocity of positive charge will be there. The same. Current is opposite to the direction of the free electron motion. That's it. Okay. So here I is NEAVD. This is N, this is E, this is A, and this is VD. Understand? Everything is here. So what I can write here, these four physical quantities are represented with the symbol I, the product of them. Then remaining is L, and this is B, and this is sine theta. So F is equal to BIL sine theta. And carefully look at the situation here. What is theta here? Here, in force on a single moving charge in a magnetic field, theta is the angle between V bar and B bar. V bar and B bar. Whereas here the theta is angle between L bar and B bar. See, where is L bar? L bar is the displacement vector from here to here. See here, the straight line distance between the two ends of the wire. So let me say this is X and this is Y. X and Y. L is the straight line length between the two ends of the conductor. Alright. Now, and you can see here, so this is the theta. This is the theta here. What is theta? Theta is between L bar and B bar. Between L bar and B bar. Okay. So now I am writing here theta. This is the magnitude we have got here. So we will be writing in the vector form. So that's it. So theta is the angle between L bar and B bar. Okay. So then I can write F bar is equal to I into L bar cross B bar. Look at the interesting equation. The net force on a current carrying conductor, net force on a current carrying conductor is I into L bar cross B bar. I into L bar cross B bar. Okay, clear? If you just expand it, you will get BIL sine theta only. So I into LB sine theta. I into LB sine theta. So that's it. Okay, so this is the expression for force on a current carrying conductor placed in a uniform magnetic field. Now let's see some more interesting facts about this. Right? So you should understand one important thing. Already I have told you, let me remind you once again. What is this L actually here? L bar. L bar, again I am telling you, it is the straight line path between the two ends of a conductor. So that is what I am writing here. So here let me write that. So L is the straight line distance between two ends of the conductor. I can write between X and Y. Okay. Now let's see the important part of the same discussion. Imagine, so there is a magnetic field which is into the plane here. It's a magnetic field into the plane. Okay. Now, this is the current carrying conductor is placed here. Current carrying conductor is placed here. So what is the angle between L bar and B bar here? So this is L bar and the B bar is into the plane, right? So you can see here. So this is L bar and this is B bar. What is the angle between them? You can see L bar and B bar. What is the angle between them? 90 degrees. So in the first case, theta is equal to 90 degrees. When theta is 90, what happens here? BIL sine 90 is 1. The force is maximum, yes or no? So the maximum force, which is BIL. Fine. Now, here, imagine the current carrying conductor is placed in the direction of magnetic field. Okay, so this is L bar and that is only the B bar, right? The first case. And the second case is what? Current carrying conductor is this one, placed in the direction of magnetic field. In the direction of magnetic field, if it placed, so theta value will be 0 degrees. So in this case, so force also will be 0 because sine 0 will be 0. And when theta is 180 degrees, here also the force will be 0. 180 degrees means what? So this is what? L bar. And the magnetic field is opposite to the direction of L bar. The angle between this L bar and B bar is 180 degrees. So theta is 180 degrees. Force will be 0. So there is a maximum force when the angle between L bar and B bar is 90 degrees. And the minimum in these two cases. Okay, in these two cases. Clear? Sure? Now, let's concentrate about direction of the force. Direction of the force. Carefully see here. So the direction of the force, or direction of the force, we can find by using three ways. Number one is cross product. Number two is Fleming's left hand rule. Fleming's left hand rule. And number three is right hand palm rule. Okay. So by using these three rules, we can find direction of the force acting on the direction of the force on a current carrying conductor in a uniform magnetic field. We can find by using these three. And let's discuss one by one. And let's take this case. Let us take this case. One by one we'll discuss. In this case, theta is 90 degrees and there is a force acting on it. It's not 0. Understand? So this is 0 and 180 degrees condition, force is 0. Minimum. But it is maximum case only we have taken. Let us understand the force direction. The magnitude we have got BIL sine 90. Sine 90 is 1. Force is BIL. Okay. Alright. Let's talk about the direction. First one, cross product. F is equal to L bar cross B bar. Understand? See here, F is equal to, F bar is equal to I into L bar cross B bar. L bar cross B bar. If you write B bar cross L bar, the direction will be changed, then the quantity will be changed. Remember, F bar is equal to I into L bar cross B bar, and here also you must not write B bar cross B bar. No. Force on a moving charge in a magnetic field will be Q into V bar cross B bar. It's not B bar cross B bar. We should not do that because the direction will be reversed as the quantity is a vector. Even the direction is changed and we say the quantity is changed. Remember that. Now, concentrate on the direction. Cross product. By using cross product, we find the force acting on this current carrying wire. F bar is equal to I into L bar cross B bar. So this is L bar and B bar is here. Understand? So B bar is here. Clear? L bar is this one. So it's clearly visible and B bar is into the plane. Okay. And according to cross product, along the direction of L bar, we need to stretch our fingers. See here? I'm stretching in the direction of L bar. And we need to curl the fingers in the direction of B bar. Where is the B bar? B bar is like this. Understand? So, I am just stretched my fingers of right hand in this direction and the curling towards B bar. See, look at here. This is B bar. So, this is the B bar direction. So, I am just placing the fingers along the direction of L bar and curling towards B bar. See, the B bar is in this direction. Again, stretching the fingers along the direction of L bar and curling towards B bar. You see, the force acting on this wire is upwards here. So, this is the force direction, which is magnetic force acting on the current carrying wire kept in uniform magnetic field, right? Now, Fleming's left hand rule. How the Fleming's left hand rule used to find the magnetic force, right? So, by using these three rules, we must get same type of magnetic force direction. Otherwise, it's wrong. Check. Fleming's left hand rule. So, this is the left hand rule. According to Fleming's left hand rule, what is that? Imagine we stretch our left hand thumb, forefinger and middle finger such that they are mutually perpendicular each other. And if we keep our forefinger in the direction of magnetic field and middle finger in the direction of current or the positive charge motion, automatically the thumb will give you the direction of magnetic force. And let's see. So magnetic field lines are into the plane here, so they are into the plane, and the current direction is kept along the middle finger direction. See here at this point, and you see the force direction. Force direction is this one. Understand? So that is correct. Clear? Magnetic field and electric current and the force. So force direction is this one. An interesting thing is, the same Fleming's left hand rule we have used to find the direction of the magnetic force on a moving charge in a magnetic field. Understand? Force on a moving charge we have found. Understand? In the direction of force on a moving charge, same force on a current carrying conductor also lies. Right? There is no difference here. Now, third one, right hand rule. Right hand palm rule, I say. Right hand rule. I'm writing as right hand palm rule. I hope you could recollect the right hand palm rule. So this is what the palm, right hand palm, right? So the stretched fingers must keep in the direction of magnetic field. Look at here. And the thumb must point in the direction of current. You see, direction of current is here. Stretched fingers are here. Stretched fingers are keeping in the direction of magnetic field, and thumb must point in the direction of current, and face of the palm will give the force direction. Look at here. The face of the palm is giving you the direction of the force. So that is what the right hand palm rule tells that. Okay. So if you forget your cross product, Fleming's left hand and right hand palm rule, you just recollect it, practice as maximum as possible. You could do that. Now, this is what the basic understanding of force on a current carrying conductor in a uniform magnetic field, and this is very important derivation for your board exam also. And the directions and maximum value, minimum value, the relation between drift velocity and electric current, including its vector forms, will be useful for your NEET point of view while solving the objective questions. Okay, now let us solve some important cases related to this force on a current carrying conductor in a uniform magnetic field. There are 3 applications are available. We will be solving those 3 applications now. Let's see the applications of F is equal to I into L bar cross B bar, right, which is magnetic force acting on a current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field, right? So let's start the first application here. Application number 1. First thing, there is a magnetic field where the field lines are into the plane. You can check here. The field lines are moving into the plane. Clear? Here, there is a wire which is a semicircle. See here. The wire is placed which is a semicircle here through which the current is flowing in this direction. You know this is a uniform magnetic field and the current I is flowing through that wire. Definitely the force acting on this wire will be having direction. Look at this. At this point you apply right hand palm rule, right? So stretched fingers are into the plane, magnetic field direction, and at this point current is moving in this direction. You can see here the current is moving in this direction, which is represented with my thumb, and the palm, stretched palm will give you the direction of force. So the palm is facing the upward direction, and you can also use Fleming's left hand rule to find the force. So magnetic force is there. What is that value? So magnetic force value is how much here? So this is F is equal to, we have BIL sine theta. Okay, so what is sine theta? Sine theta is angle between L bar and B bar. So at this point you can check, or at any point you can take. So L bar is in this direction, right? L bar, what is L? L is what? I have told you already, L is effective length. L is effective length. It is an effective length means it is a straight line length between 2 end points of a conductor. So this is the first point A and this is the last point A of the conductor. So what is the effective length between these two? So I have told you it is a semicircular wire. So the effective length between these two is 2r, diameter. Okay, diameter of the circle. So 2r. So here F is equal to BI into L, effective length is 2r into sine theta. Angle between L bar and B bar, at any point you take, imagine at this point you take L bar is in this direction and the B bar in this direction. Okay, so at this point you take L bar is in this direction, B bar is in this direction. At this point also you take L bar in this direction and the B bar is into the plane. So the angle between L bar and B bar is 90 degrees. So then it is sine 90 degrees. So I can write F is equal to BI into 2R. So this is the magnetic force acting on this current carrying wire in the magnetic field is BI into 2R. Okay, clear? And let's see. In application number 1 only, so another application I just wanted to show you. So the another application is here. Magnetic field lines are into the plane, similar to the previous case. See here. There is a wire which is placed in a waveform here. This is point A, one end, and this is another end. So the question is, magnetic field is B. The question is to find the force acting on this wire. So we have the formula F is equal to BIL sine theta. Here also theta is 90 degrees only, because at any instant you take, this is L bar and B bar is like this. At this instant you take, this is L bar and B bar is like this, sine 90 only. F is equal to P into I into L. L is very important here. L is, this is L, okay, this is L. What I have told you, there is a wire which is placed in a waveform. So this is like a crest and this is trough. So this L is equal to wavelength in this case. In the place of L, I can write wavelength lambda into sine 90, it is 1. F is equal to Bi lambda. Clear? Sure? Now, another, in same application number 1, another application here, I'm just going to show you here. So many applications like this you can frame. So many applications. Right? Here, there is a circular wire whose diameter is 2r, similar to that, whose radius is r. Okay, so let me draw the diameter here. It is 2r. Fine. So the question is, what is the force acting on this current carrying wire? Imagine the current carrying wire, current flowing through this is in this direction. So what is the force? Here also current we should mention. When there is no current passing through that wire, so there will be no force, because F is equal to BIL sin theta, right? When I is not there, force also will not be there. So now, here the current, here also I. Here the current flowing through this loop is I. Find the magnetic force. That's a question. Find the magnetic force. One important thing, this question can be solved in two ways. Can be solved in two methods. Right? Here itself I am telling you here. Number 1, F is equal to B into I into L. Where is L here? L is the effective length. Effective length is the straight line length between initial point and final point. Imagine this is the initial point A. Where is the final point? That is only the final point. Is there any effective length? No. In this case, as L effective is 0 and PIL sine 90 degrees, which is 0. Net force acting on this current carrying loop is 0. And the same problem you can solve in the other way. What is the other way? Already for this half of the circle, here the magnetic force is Bi into 2r. Right? For this half of the circle, the magnetic force will be Bi into 2r. Both the forces are in opposite direction. I can directly write that the net force will be 0. Okay, net force is 0. This is second method to solve this question. Alright, this is application number 1. And one more in application number 1 we will learn. One more, application number 1. So what is that one more? Same. There is a magnetic field lines which are moving into the plane. Magnetic field lines moving into the plane. Right? 1. Carefully. So there is a wire of this shape. Look at here. This is the wire. This is having length L and this is having length L. Okay. Clear? Now they have clearly, this is point X and this is point Y, and they have clearly mentioned that from here to here there is a total angle is theta. This is theta by 2 and this part is also theta by 2. The question is, a current is flowing through that. So imagine the current I is flowing in this direction. What is the net force acting on this? How to find the net force acting on this here? So simple. What is our aim? Net force. F is equal to BIL sine theta. Sine theta, anyways it is sine 90, it is 1. Why? Because this L bar you take it and the B bar you take it, both are perpendicular to each other. That is 90. And BIL, our focus is on L now. So B is uniform magnetic field, I is current passing through that, and L is our aim now. What is L? L is the effective length between two ends of the conductor. So this is one end, this is the other end. What is the effective length here? We don't know. But there is a triangle formed here having the angle theta by 2. And there is a triangle formed here having the angle theta by 2 here. For both theta by 2's, for both triangles, hypotenuse is mentioned. For both triangles, you can see hypotenuse is mentioned. It's L. So imagine this is some M. This length is M. And definitely this length is also M. So we need to find that 2M. So F is equal to BI into L is 2M, right? BI into L is 2M into sine 90. So it is BI into 2M. What is that 2M we need to find out? So to find the 2M, first find M. Any one triangle you take it. So sine theta by 2 if I find, opposite side by hypotenuse. So I am writing here sine theta by 2 is equal to opposite side is M by hypotenuse is L, right? So what I can write here, M is equal to L into sine theta by 2, and what I can write 2M is 2L into sine theta by 2. So this is your 2M value. The 2M value substitute here. So 2M is 2L sine theta by 2. So that's it. In this case, the net force acting in this case will be BI2L into sine theta by 2. That's it. Clear? Sure? So this is the concept of application number 1. And you know application number 2. Let's see the application number 2 here. So we have space here. Application number 2. Application number 2. It's so simple application here. Imagine we have an unknown shaped wire or a thread which is placed here, through which a current I is flowing. And you know definitely the net force acting on this will be 0. So that is for sure. Okay. But the interesting thing is, at any point you find the direction of the magnetic force. At this point, the direction of the magnetic force you find, it will be in this way. Exactly opposite side, if you find the direction of the magnetic force, it will be like this. Any place you take, the magnetic force will be like this. So, what that means, at each and every point, there will be a stretching force acting on this unknown shaped current carrying wire. At each and every point there will be a stretching force will be acting such that after some time what happens so it will come into a circular shape. After some time it will come into a circular shape. So that's an important part here. After some time, the same wire will come into a circular shape with the forces, that is as usual. This is F and this is F and this side it's F and this side also it is F. Clear? Sure? You understand? Now, the most important part of the application number 2 is when there is a stretching force acting on this loop, there will be a tension developed in the string. There will be a tension developed in the string. So the tension developed in the string is always along the length of the string. Is always what? Along the length of the string. Okay. The same thing we are going to discuss here. Listen. For example, say magnetic field, let me take here. Say magnetic field, let me take. I'm just taking half of the circle, right? Half of the circle having radius r. Current I is flowing here. At each and every point there is a stretching force. So that stretching force I am just representing with single force F. At each and every point there is a stretching force, remember. So in this case, according to the application number 1, what is the force here? Bi into 2r. Yes or no? It is Bi into 2r. Clear? Bi into 2r. Now, I told you at each and every point along the length of the string, there is a tension force will be developed, and at this point, the tension force will be developed like this. At this point, the tension force will be developed like this. Okay? So, but the loop is balanced. It will not move from one place to another place. Understand? So, as it is not moving from one place to another place, so the upward forces will be balanced by the downward forces. So, accordingly, you can write upward force is Bi into 2r, which is equal to 2t, and this is 2 cancel here, and t is equal to PIR. Very important expression here. The tension developed in this string, which became a circle initially, which is just kept as an unknown shaped wire placed in a magnetic field and current passing through that. After some time, what happened? Due to the magnetic force which is stretching at each and every point of the wire, it will become a circle, and the tension developed in the string is BIR. R is radius of the circle, B is infinite wire. B is magnetic field, which is uniform magnetic field. R is radius of the circle. I is current passing through that particular wire. Okay, so let's see application number 3 also. That's the last application of this session. Let's see, the last topic of the session is application number 3, right? So in one of the NEET exams, this question was there, not exactly on the same model. This concept is included in a question, right? So let's see what is that particular concept. Application number 3. Here, there is a rigid support is taken. This is the rigid support. With this rigid support, there are 2 springs are attached to this rigid support. Each spring constant is K. There is another spring is also attached here, whose spring constant is also K. For these 2 springs, there is a rod which is connected in this way, right? Through this conductor, there is an amount of current I is flowing through this conductor, and mass of this conductor rod is M. I am writing everything. Now, if you carefully observe here, there is a magnetic field which is uniform magnetic field is available here, and in this uniform magnetic field itself, the setup is kept. The setup is kept in this uniform magnetic field only. Okay, let's see. Definitely, after some time, because of this weight of the string, because of this weight of the conductor, there will be elongation produced in the springs, both the springs. The question is to find the elongation in this spring. So, what is the application number 3? Find the elongation in the springs. Same amount of elongation will be produced because K values are same, and only the single conductor is placed, single conducting wire is connected between both the strings. Definitely elongation will be same. So what all the things I am writing here? K is spring constant of the springs. M is mass of the conducting wire. I is the amount of current passing through this. And what else is remained here? So that's it. The uniform magnetic field, let me say it is B bar, which is into the plane. So B bar. So the uniform magnetic field, right? So let's start. First thing, forget about the complete setup except the current carrying wire. And we already know just now the whole discussion was about magnetic force acting on a current carrying wire. By using the right hand palm rule, I am going to find the magnetic force acting on it. So this is the current, and you know the stretched fingers are moving into the plane, and palm facing will give you the direction of magnetic force. So here the magnetic force is acting in this direction. So what is that? BIL. So I'm writing here. So the magnetic force direction is BIL. L is length of the wire. Okay, L is length of the wire. So I'm writing L is length of the wire, which is effective length. So we are not deviating from the topic. L is the effective length. Okay. So Fm is equal to BIL here, which is moving upwards. Fine. One force we have got. Any body in the nature, on that particular body, the weight of an object will be acting, which is exactly towards the center of the earth. So on this, see, our focus right now is only on the conductor. So one force is upward, the another force called mg, which is downward. Okay, so I am writing here weight of the body is small m into g, where g is acceleration due to gravity. So this is one force, and the second force, and the most importantly, when there is an elongation is taken in the springs, right? When weight of the body is in this direction, elongation in the spring will be in this direction. Definitely spring force will opposing the elongation, right? So this is what the spring force acting. So that is F suffix small s, and in this spring also the spring force will be acting. The spring force formula K into X, right? So spring force formula will be K into X. So the spring force, two spring forces. The complete body, free body diagram, if you draw, if you take, it is the complete setup. There is mg, and on this, so there is a magnetic force, and on this there is 2kx. What is this 2kx? 2fs plus fs, right? So fs is kx and another fs is kx. So total 2kx. So it's a spring force, it's a magnetic force, and it is weight. Okay. So the net force acting, net force. No. Our aim is to find what? So elongation. So for that, on this system, net force we can find by using, so this one. Fm plus 2kx, upward forces is equal to downward forces. Okay. So this is 2kx, which is equal to mg, this Fm minus, Fm is what? BIL. Okay. So from here x is equal to mg minus BIL divided by 2k. So that's it. This is the elongation. Is it clear? That is elongation. Now, but don't expect the same question or to use the same formula in any of the model given in this way. That will be wrong for some time. So what kind of changes they can make? They can make the changes in the direction of current, and the direction of magnetic force will be changed. They can make the changes by the direction of magnetic field, by changing the direction of magnetic field. Let us understand the same scenario here, where the magnetic field lines are out of the plane. Okay, so let's see the same case, another model. The same case, another model. How the question can be asked. Here, imagine the magnetic field lines are out of the plane here. Okay, so magnetic field lines are out of the plane and the current carrying conductor is placed in this way. You can use your right hand palm rule. See, the stretched fingers are in the direction of magnetic field and the current is moving in this direction. Okay, so carefully see, the current is moving in this direction. Look at here. So the current is moving in this direction. Stretched fingers are magnetic field lines are out of the plane. You see on this conductor, the force is acting downwards. Okay, look at here. Stretched fingers are magnetic field lines are moving out of the plane. I said alternate, another method. And current is in this direction and the force is acting downwards. So this is what the force is acting downwards, which is magnetic force. So this is the system here. Weight mg and force bil are in downward direction. Now weight will not be changed. Now spring force, it is independent of the magnetic field, right? When the elongation is downwards, spring force will be upwards. It is spring force is 2kx. In this case, how we will be finding elongation? So bil plus mg, it's a downward force, it is equal to 2kx, and from here x is equal to, so what is in the numerator? Numerator it is mg plus bil. In the denominator it is 2k. I hope you got it, right? Same concept when the magnetic field, when B bar is out of the plane, same topic, same case, just the B bar is out of the plane, and this is how the situation, current direction is not changed. So B bar is out of the plane, so current direction is same, and this will be the same. See the change. A lot of changes happen here, right? Sometimes current direction also will be changed. So you should use according to a right hand palm rule or vector product of L bar and B bar or Fleming's left hand rule to find the direction of that particular magnetic force.